You're with promoter Bob ARUM. Now, Bob, talk to us about the fight against Terrence Crawford versus Victor Postol, which will be taking place on July 23rd in Vegas at the MGM Grand, because it's a great fight. It's a unification bout. A lot of fight fans are looking forward to this fight. Tell me about the event.
Well, it's the two best fighters in the super lightweight, junior, welterweight division. One is the WBC champ, the other is the WBO champ. I mean, you can't get better than that when you get the two best fighters in the division fighting each other. And every boxing expert and every person who follows boxing will tell you the same thing. These are the two best fighters in the division.
Now, they're both obviously with Top Rank, your company. Was it difficult to make the fight or not? Was the fight easy?
It's never difficult to make the fight, because if you have guys who aren't afraid to fight and take risks. The difficulty is in coming to a dollar amount, because the fighters want to be compensated for the risks that they're taking.
Right.
So that's the only difficulty in making a fight like this.
Let's talk about risk. Let's talk about money. Kell Brook is taking a huge risk against Gennady Golovkin, moving up to to the middleweight division. Kell Brook and Jesse Vargas almost ready to fight. The contracts were there. They're ready to be signed. Kell Brook decided to take more money and a more dangerous fight. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's not really the whole story. What happened was we had a deal in place, and it was to take place over in England. And then these people were convinced in England to leave the economic union, and the pound collapsed. So that meant Eddie Hearn was at risk very badly, because he had to come up with all of these dollars for us and for Jesse Vargas. And he decided that the risk was too great, because now the fight was costing him 20% more than what he would have been prepared to spend. And on top of that, he was hoping to do Golovkin and Eubanks Jr., which was a big fight. And Eubanks and his father acted crazy. They wanted control over the ticket pricing, control over the undercard, and Eddie said no. And while he was doing that, Kell Brook said, I'll fight Golovkin for the same money that Eubanks was getting.
Right.
So that was the easy way out for Eddie. I don't blame him.
I mean, is it conceivable that we'll see another Canelo Khan repeat?
Of course. Brooks is an English fighter. English fighters have a reputation for being masochists. Amir Khan was a masochist when he fought Canelo. This kid, Kell Brook, is a worse masochist, going in with one of the best middleweights of all time, going up 2 classes to fight Triple G. But that's an English fighter. They got a lot of balls, and they take chances. And that's been the way it's been for the 50+ years I've been in boxing.
My 2 last questions. Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao says he may be returning in September, or at least that's what the rumors.
He's not returning in September. Manny Pacquiao wants to fight again. But he only can fight and take a fight if it's in accordance with his Philippine senatorial schedule. And so he talked to the president of the Senate, and the president gave him 2 dates where he could comfortably do a fight here in the United States without missing any time from the Senate during a Senate recess. And those dates are October 29th and November 5. And we're currently looking for a venue to put a Pacquiao fight on either of those 2 dates.
So Broner's out of the question.
Well, Broner's out of the question because, in my mind, he put himself out of the question. But again, you know, everybody has their own judgment about what they're worth. And Adrian felt that he was worth a certain amount of money, and I looked at it and I told Al Heyman I couldn't afford it. I mean, it was just something that didn't make any sense from my standpoint or Manny Pacquiao's standpoint. So we passed. I mean, to say he priced himself out, Well, you know, that's not fair because that sort of implies that he gave us a price knowing that the fight wouldn't happen. I think he tried to have the fight happen, but the money he asked us for was so out of line compared to what other opponents of Pacquiao have gotten that we couldn't afford it.
Thank you, Bob. Always a pleasure, my man.